Welcome to the 2019 F1 Canadian Grand Prix race. Oh well, we've got it again. The Ferrari marks all over Twitter. Moaning and moaning and moaning. What a weekend it was. It started off with Hamilton spinning off, smacking his car in practice too. Then I had to basically rebuild the side of his car. But you never heard him moan, did you? Not once. And then he came out in qualifying. My bet was probably going to finish maybe P3 in qualifying. But he got number 2, where he came from practice 2 was good. Vettel got the pole. But it all started unravelling this weekend on race day. Lewis Hamilton struggling with his hydraulics, still putting his hydraulics in his car. As Ted Kravitz says on Sky Sports, you even had Valtteri Bottas's engineers plugging away at Lewis Hamilton's car to try and attempt to get his car ready for race day. This is 1 hour before the race, by the way. But that wasn't the big thing of today. No, it wasn't. It was Sebastian Vettel. Again and again and again. Mistake after mistake after mistake. How did that guy win 4 championships? How? I thought maybe his mistakes are behind him this season. Maybe. But today, the pressure got to him. And what happened? He spun out. He went onto the grass. And in my opinion, tried to compromise Lewis Hamilton's race. And I don't care if you don't agree with me. You can follow me on Twitter if you want. You can argue with me all day long. You're still not going to change my opinion. Sebastian Vettel deserved that 5-second time penalty. He deserved it. And if you don't agree with me, go take a walk. And what did he do after? A disgrace. What did he do after? Oh my gosh. He couldn't just go to Martin Brundle and start talking, could he? When you win a race or whether you lose a race, you do your interviews after. It's part of your contract. This is what you sign up for. Media. You're supposed to talk to the media after. You got Martin Brundle there standing with his microphone. Thinking, Vettel, where's he gone? Where's he gone? And where did Vettel go? Started running after the FIA steward's office. Running away. He just got out of his car and he started running to the FIA office. But did he get to the FIA office? No. The FIA office steward's door was closed, locked. There was probably someone in there, but the door was locked. Vettel starts running through pit lanes, running through the steward's office, trying to get in, banging on the door. This is when he was supposed to be getting interviewed after his race. Yes, interviewed. But where was Vettel? He looked like an 8th grade karting driver. That's what he looked like. A 6th grade karting driver. Running off, spitting his dummy, throwing his hat everywhere, taking his overalls off, begging for his mummy. That's what it looked like. Running through to the stewards, banging on the door. Stewards not opening the door. They put a big padlock on the door. Didn't want to let him in. Unbelievable. How ridiculous did Sebastian Vettel look? Absolutely ridiculous. You lost. That's it. You lost. Hamilton forced the mistake. Your arse went. Your arse flickered. And that was it. And you're done yourself. You tried to block him off on the corner. I don't care if your Ferrari fans don't believe me or agree with me. I do not care. I do not care. At the end of the day, Hamilton forced the error. His arse went, Vettel's. His arse flickered. And he spun out onto the grass. And when he rejoined the race, he tried to block Hamilton off. Racing, there you go. And the steward saw it, and you got penalised. And in my opinion, it was fair. It was fair. You got people on Twitter, Ferrari fans, moaning, bitching, complaining. You lost. Let it go. You lost. Unbelievable. It was absolutely disgrace. And to round it off, he comes back to the pit finally. And he changes the numbers over by the cars. There was number 1 by Lewis Hamilton's car. And he changed the number from number 1 on Lewis Hamilton's car to number 2. And put number 1 on his spot. And his car wasn't even there. Unbelievable. Supposed to be a 4-time world champion. Grown-ass man. And you're doing that. You made yourself look stupid. Absolutely stupid. And then they finally go upstairs to get the trophy. They're doing the celebration. They're getting the champagne. And after, Martin Brundle goes to interview Sebastian Vettel again. And Sebastian Vettel's standing there thinking, oh yeah, I don't agree with this. I don't think it should have went that way. Lewis Hamilton just looked at him and smiled, then walked off. Then Martin Brundle tried to stop Lewis Hamilton from walking off. Lewis Hamilton stood there. Martin Brundle said to Sebastian Vettel, I hope this ain't going to get in between you two. I hope there's no bad feelings in between you two. Hamilton stood there and said, at the end of the day, I don't know why they boo me. I never made a decision. The FIA did, not me. Vettel stands there and says, oh, don't boo Hamilton, don't boo Hamilton. Yeah, whatever. Like you really mean that. You lost. That's it. You're 60 points behind Lewis Hamilton. Get used to it. You've done yourself. At the end of the day, you deserve pole. You deserve the lead. But you made that error at the end and your arse went. You forced the error. Hamilton forced the error. You tried to block him off when you came back onto the track. And that's it. You got penalised and that is it. And at the end, you can't even flipping stand there. Vettel, you can't even stand there and take it like a man. What are you doing? Walking off, running off to the stewards like a little 6-year-old karting driver running off to the stewards, looking for the FIA, running through all the paddocks. If that was Mercedes, I would have kicked your ass out. Running back through Mercedes' garage, if that was Toto, I would have kicked your ass out of the garage. So what you doing? Do one. Unreal. You are a disgraced. Hey, if you watched my video yesterday, the qualifying, I was bigging up Vettel. I was bigging him up. I gave him the biggest respect. I'm glad he got pole. I stood there and I said, you know what? It's nice to see another car apart from Mercedes on pole. You go back and watch my video on my channel and you'll see it. But today, at the end, it was absolutely the way he showed his hand. His immaturity, the way immature he was. He couldn't even stood there, take it like a man, give the interview, go to the podium and say, look, bad luck. If you want to bitch about it, do it backstage, but in front of the national TV. And you got millions and millions of people watching you on TV. And you're there running after the stewards, moaning, then coming back and then changing the numbers over on the car. You are pathetic. Pathetic. And if you don't agree with me, go take a walk. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 4-time world champion. Ha! Acting like that. Unbelievable. Disgrace. Disgrace. Jesus. Unbelievable. Anyway, I'm going to get into this review. And by the way, nearly 1k views on my qualifying video yesterday. Thank you guys for that. For 1k views. Nearly 1k views anyway. He was saying basically at the beginning of the race, before the race started, you had Jensen, Button and Brundle saying it's all under control. They was talking about Hamilton's car, like I said at the beginning of the video. Hamilton was having problems with his hydraulics. The hydraulics in the engine, which is a big issue. If you're having problems with the hydraulics in the engine, there was a bit of a problem. And that was at the beginning of the race. But like I said at the beginning, you had Valtteri Bottas's engineers and Lewis Hamilton's engineers working on the car. And they got it ready for the car. I got it ready for the race. So basically, as we're starting, with lights out the way we go. Vettel had a tremendous start. Brilliant. There's one thing I'll say about Sebastian Vettel. He's a brilliant driver. He's one of the greats. But today, the way he acted like a child. An imbecile. Race started, had a great start, Sebastian Vettel. Absolutely amazing. Keeping control of the race. It was everything amazing. Lewis Hamilton was in second place. Valtteri Bottas dropped a place. I think he was in sixth and he dropped down to seventh place. Valtteri Bottas not having the very good race today, not at all. His race today was absolutely terrible. Lap 4 Sainz pits. It was a 3.6 pit. Absolutely amazing, and he put on the hard tyres. So it was an early pit really for Carlos Sainz, which I didn't really get. Lap 6, fastest lap. Well, in and the thing about it is another thing. By lap 6, by the time we got to lap 6, by the time it was lap 6, Vettel already done 3 fastest laps, so he was burning out his tyres. And the thing at the beginning of the race, I was saying he doesn't want to go too fast because the way his brakes were, there was overheating very, very easily. So, but Vettel didn't listen. By lap 6, he got 3 fastest lap, but Hamilton was still staying with him. Lap 6, Max finally passes Lando Norris. Lando Norris, unbelievable. What a race he had. He came out the blocks. He passed Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen was trying his best to pass him for about 3 laps. And Lando Norris was holding him off. Absolutely amazing by Lando Norris. He's one of my favourite drivers. He's only a 19-year-old kid. And he's showing his stuff already. You can see he's going to be a great driver. But at lap 6, Max finally passes Lando by a valiant effort by Lando Norris, holding off Max Verstappen for about 3 or 4 laps. Lap 8, Gasly puts on a hard compound. I think it was in a pit for about 2.8 seconds pit time, which is very good for Red Bull. Lap 9, Ricciardo puts on the hard tyres. So as you can see by the pattern of the race, by lap 9, everybody was just putting on hard tyres. But as he put on his hard tyres, he was in the pit for about 3.1 seconds. Decent pit. Ricciardo started coming out the pits, and all of a sudden Lando Norris, it was weird. I've never actually saw this in F1 at all. Lando Norris comes out the pit, Ricciardo comes out the pits after lap 9, and Lando Norris's his rear brakes started overheating, firing, and it just completely broke away. His whole rear brake suspension shaft broke away because basically it was that hot. His brakes started to overheat, and then the fire caught at the back of his car, and his brakes just snapped, and his rear tyre just came off his car. And that was absolutely bad luck for Lando Norris. Lando Norris deserved better than that. He had a great start. Max Verstappen was struggling to pass him for about 3 or 4 laps. And finally, he was coming into his own, and his rear suspension snapped. His brakes snapped. So it's a shame for Lando Norris. Lap 17, Hülkenberg pits. It was a 2.7 seconds pit, so that was good. And lap 25, Ferrari was telling Vettel to push because Hamilton was gaining on Vettel. He was gaining and gaining and gaining. And this is when I thought, here we go, Hamilton's probably preserving his tyres. And now and again, he's trying to push that extra little gap. He doesn't want to push straight away quick because Ferrari will clock on and say, look, Vettel, push more. But I think maybe that was done by design. They knew that Mercedes knew that Ferrari's rear brakes and front brakes were overheating easily through practice and in qualifying. So maybe this was a strategy move by Mercedes to push Ferrari, Vettel, so then brakes can overheat more. So we'll have to slow down more later on in the race, maybe. So basically, they were telling Vettel to push. Lap 27, Vettel pits and puts the hard tyres on. And lap 28, Hamilton was going to pit at lap 27, but he did. His engineer came onto the radio and said, "Look, Vettel's pitted now, lap 26. Go for a nice fast lap, hammer time." So we started putting down the gas, pushing down on the gas, but he just wasn't fast enough. So what he did, he waited an extra lap, pitted at lap 28. So lap 28. He came into the pits, Hamilton, puts a hard tyres on. Lap 32, Bottas pits, puts a hard tyres on. So there was going for a long strategy for Bottas, and it was a 3.2 seconds pit, which is very good for a Mercedes as well. Not as good as the previous races, but it was decent. 3.2 seconds. So lap 33, Perez passes Grosjean. Absolutely, it was probably the pass of the race for me. Perez at lap 33 passes Grosjean. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then Grosjean, like he always does, he was complaining on the radio saying, "Look, you've got to talk to race control. That was dangerous driving." No way was that dangerous driving. No, he passed him fair. He saw the line. He saw the gap. He lunged his car down the line. I think it was sector 5. I can't put my heart on it. But he lunged. Perez lunged down turn 5, went past Grosjean fair, and Grosjean started moaning on the radio. Look, there's no point of moaning, mate. At the end of the day, he passed you fair, in my opinion. So Charles Leclerc was still out. He was still on the medium tyres. But lap 33. So lap 33, Charles pits, puts the hard tyres on, and then Max Verstappen he came out just behind Max Verstappen. Now, it's not happened yet, but this is one rivalry I cannot wait for it to happen. I can't wait. Charles Leclerc versus Max Verstappen. But there was a little test for about 2 laps, but nothing much, because Charles Leclerc was on the fresher tyres. Max still was yet to pit. But Bottas was a bit frustrated in this race. He got to a point where he was trying to pass Ricciardo for about 8 laps. It wasn't working out for him. He had a weird weekend, Valtteri Bottas. He weren't at the races this week. And he was trying to pass Ricciardo. Very frustrated, trying his best. Locked up in a few corners, still trying to pass Ricciardo. But finally, Bottas passes Ricciardo on lap 33. No, lap 35. Lap 46, Stroll pits in medium tyres. Lap 49, Max finally puts the hard tyres on. And it was a 1.8 second pit by Red Bull. Probably the fastest pit of the race. Lap 60, Kimi pits, puts the soft tyres on, trying to get going for fast lap, which he did achieve. But lap 63, Albon retires again. He just came into the pits. The car gave up on him. Weren't having it. And that was it. And it was a shame for Albon. Nobody likes to see a person retire from a race. Nobody. Lando Norris had to retire. And Albon, the 2 Brits, retiring from the Grand Prix. Now, when I was watching this race, he was getting towards the end. I saw Lewis Hamilton. There was about 5, maybe a 5.5 seconds gap between him and Vettel. So I thought to myself, there's no way that Hamilton's going to gain that. I thought, nah, I think Vettel's got him. But for some reason, it was absolutely magical. Hamilton kept gaining and gaining and gaining. At one time, I thought Hamilton's car was done. I thought Vettel's car was done. Because it was a bit like in Bahrain, when you had Charles Leclerc in front, Hamilton was second, and it was like an 8-second gap, and all of a sudden you just started seeing the time come down from 8 to 7 to 6 to 5 to 4, and that's what it seemed like. The times were just coming down and coming down. I thought maybe Vettel's made a mistake, or his car's maybe he's running out of maybe his brakes are not working. They was talking about the overheating issues with the brakes. Unbelievable, but Hamilton caught up. It got down to about 3 or 2 seconds, and then Ferrari said, right, turn up your engine, basically, turn up your petrol. So we started turning up his petrol, started pulling away a little bit from Hamilton. Still wasn't enough. It was still about 3 seconds between him. There's one thing I say about Hamilton: when he closed him down, he kept that gap. He didn't extend. But the thing about it, throughout the race, Hamilton locked up about 3 times in the same turn. I think it was turn 8. Kept locking up, so he kept losing time, then he kept gaining it back. But finally, when it got towards the end of the race, with 10 laps to go, Hamilton was hitting that acceleration, and it was right behind Sebastian Vettel. Vettel came down to the side, and Hamilton forced the error, forced him to make that. He committed Vettel committed to that turn, and Hamilton forced him onto the grass. He forced the error, and they went onto the grass. And when he came back onto the track, he saw Hamilton on his right hand side, and he turned his car a little bit to try and say, "Yeah, don't bother coming." That was illegal, and that's why the stewards gave him a 5 second time penalty. And in my opinion, it was well deserved. I don't care what anybody else has got to say. I mean, if you're a Ferrari fan, you just gotta think about it. If that was the roles were reversed, and it was Mercedes was in front and Vettel was behind him, yeah, and I saw that and I said, look, and he tried to force over Vettel, and that was Hamilton. I would have turned around and said, you know what? I would have put my hands up and said, look, Hamilton shouldn't have done that. Because I'm fair. If you watch all my reviews, I've been fair all the way through. All the way through. I've never strayed. If I see something I think is not right, I don't care if it's Mercedes, and I'm a Mercedes fan. It doesn't matter. Credit where credit's due. And as I see it, in my opinion, and I know you're going to get a lot of guys on Twitter, Ferrari fans, disagreeing. I don't care. If you got a problem, come on Twitter and we'll have it out. But what I'm saying is, I saw Vettel came back onto the track. He could have stayed on the left-hand side, but he never. He didn't stay on the left-hand side. He came over to the right, where he trying to turn his car into the right, so to try and get bash Hamilton into the side, so Hamilton could make a mistake. But Hamilton stopped, pulled back, and that, to me, he was well deserved, that penalty. It was deserved, and that's it. And when it says 5 second time penalty, you had Vettel complaining on the radio. He was losing time. The radio engineer said, keep focused. Vettel says, I am focused. He weren't focused because Hamilton was gaining again and again and again. And you know what? When I was watching the race, I wanted Hamilton to win the race outright. So if he would have won the race outright, then nobody could have moaned and said, look, Hamilton, people can't say Hamilton only won the race because, you know, of what happened. I wanted him to win outright, but he never. He nearly caught him, but he just never caught him. Maybe when Hamilton saw the 5 second time penalty, maybe Hamilton kind of backed off a little bit. But we'll never know what they're thinking. But in my opinion, Hamilton deserved the win. He won. Now, I'm saying he won the race and he won it fair. And that's just the way it is. And at the end, Vettel throwing his flipping dummies out of the pram. He couldn't even stand there, shake Lewis Hamilton's hand. If you've got a problem, go backstage and talk about it. Don't walk off or don't run off during the interview when you're supposed to be getting interviewed by Sky. Run off and start running off looking for the stewards, throwing your helmet on the floor. No wonder the stewards never open the door to you. If I had a bull like you coming after me, trying to open the door, I wouldn't open the door either. I'd lock it. And I'm glad the FIA locked it because he made you look even more stupid. Then you start coming through the paddock, Mercedes paddock. I would have kicked your arse out the paddock, kicked your arse out. Go there, give your interview, then go upstairs, do your presentation. And if you've got a problem with the FIA, go and see him after. Not during when you're supposed to get interviewed. Absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Unreal. So, Hamilton won the race. Vettel comes second, and he came. Hold on, let's do the results. Show the results at the end. So we had Lewis Hamilton 1, Sebastian Vettel 2, 3rd Charles Leclerc, 4th Valtteri Bottas, 5th Max Verstappen, 6th Daniel Ricciardo. Nice showing from Ricciardo. 7th, Nico Hülkenberg, Reynolds, 6th and 7th. I know they're going to be happy with that. 8th, Pierre Gasly. 9th, Lance Stroll. 10th, Daniel Fiat. 11th, Carlos Sainz. 12th, Sergio Perez. 13th, Antonio Giovinazzi. 14th, Romain Grosjean. 15th, Kimi Raikkonen. 16th, George Russell. 7th, Kevin Magnussen. And 18th, Robert Kubica. And the ones that had to retire, Alexander Albon and Lando Norris. Let's see the driving standings now. I can get these. Driver standards. We've got Lewis Hamilton on top with 162 points. Valtteri Bottas in second with 133 points. So there's like 29 points between them. 29 because Bottas got fastest lap. You got that gain that extra points. Third place you got Sebastian Vettel with 100 points, so he's 62 points behind Hamilton. Sebastian Vettel. Fourth place you got Max Verstappen, 88. Charles Leclerc in fifth in 72, and sixth place Pierre Gasly in 36. Seventh place Carlos Sainz with 18 points. Eighth place Daniel Ricciardo with 16 points. Ninth place Kevin Magnussen with 14. 10th place Sergio Perez with 13 points. 11th place Kimi Räikkönen with 13 points again. 12th Lando Norris with 12 points. And 13th Nico Hülkenberg with 12 points as well. And 14th Daniel Kvyat with 10 points. 15th Alexander Albon with 7 points. 16th Lance Stroll with 6 points. 17th Romain Grosjean, only 2 points. I can't see Romain Grosjean being there at the end of the season. By the end of the season, I think they're going to release him. They nearly done it last season, but I think this season, I think they're going to do it. Maybe bringing someone else, maybe from F2, I don't know. Latif, maybe, I don't know. 18th Antonio Giovinazzi, no points. And 19th George Russell, no points. And in that again, no points again, Robert Kubica. Antonio Giovinazzi, they might get rid of him as well from Alfa Romeo. Not gained not 1 point this year at all. Not one. And he's got a decent car as well. Decent car. Now the constructors. Mercedes 295 points in second, Ferrari 172 points, and third place Red Bull 124. Fourth place McLaren 30. Fifth place Renault 28. Sixth place Racing Point 19. Seventh place Toro Rosso 17th points. Seventh place Toro Rosso with 17. Eighth place Haas with 16 points, and ninth place Alfa Romeo with 13 points, and Williams with again no points to score. So I'm going to play some audio. Usually I play some audio, not video, obviously because of copyright reasons. So I'm going to go through see if we've got any interviews. Well, we've got Lewis Hamilton. Well, we ain't got nothing. No interviews at the moment. So no. Let me see if there's any more interviews, anything. No video. There's no interviews. Hold on, let's see if there's anything. No, there's none at all at the moment. If there is, sorry about that. Usually I've got interviews on F1. I usually go on the website, play some interviews, audio. But at the moment, they've got none up at all. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything. Hold on. Bear with me. No, none at all. So that's it then. No videos. But again, I think Sebastian Vettel is a disgrace at the end of the day. If you wanted to vent your anger, you should have waited till the ceremony was over and then go speak to the stewards, not run off to the stewards when you're supposed to be getting interviewed. That's just my opinion. This is Solo P1 side night for the 2019 F1 Canadian Grand Prix race day review. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, Twitter, follow me on Twitter, Solo P1, Instagram, Solo_P1, and Instagram, Solo_P1. This is Solo P1. See you 2 weeks in France. See you later, guys. Bye.